Hey, what's up? This is MC Poetic Tendency telling you why spring-assisted knives are 100% legal in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Spring-assist knives are intended to save lives, while an EMT, firefighter, or law enforcement officer is trying to get you out of an automobile accident or any other viable first response problem. Say you're fatally wounded in an accident, and the first responder needs to apply pressure to this fatal wound while yet trying to get you out of the seatbelt. A spring-assist knife will allow this rescue worker to apply pressure to this fatal wound while yet opening their knife to cut the seatbelt with the other hand. Spring-assist knives are made legal by U.S. Law Bill SB 274. This bill clarifies that spring-assist knives are not to be confused with switchblade knives. A switchblade knife does not include a knife that is designed to open with one hand utilizing thumb pressure applied solely to the blade of the knife or the thumb stud attached to the blade. California is the basis of all law due to it being typically the hardest and most progressive in the nation. California State Senator Betty Carnett of the 27th District is the author and who is responsible for Bill SB 274 and the legislation of spring-assisted knives. Senator Carnett realized that spring-assist knives are extremely functional tools by law-abiding citizens, and that these knives serve an important utility to many knife users, as well as firemen, EMT personnel, hunters, fishermen, and others who utilize one-handed opening knives. Senator Carnett realized that spring-assist knives were a viable tool, that they could be used in an automobile accident to cut a seatbelt to save someone's life. They've also saved skydivers' lives when they've had to cut the parachute and then pull their reserve. They've also saved countless fishing poles. They also are essential to handicapped individuals who only have one arm. A special thanks to Senator Betty is in order, because if it were not for her, we would lose more of our rights in the US, and then we wouldn't have tools as life-saving instruments. Let's read Senator Betty Carnett's exact words in a letter published to the Secretary of Senate. This was published July 18, 2001 in the edition of the Senate Daily Journal on page 2070, July 5, 2001. Mr. Gregory Schmidt, Secretary of the Senate. Dear Greg, the purpose of this letter is to express the legislative intent on enacting my SB 274, which makes amendments to the Penal Code Section 653K. Section 653K makes a misdemeanor to make, sell, or possess upon one person a switchblade in California. The statute was enacted in 1957 and provides a length definition of a switchblade knife. In 1996, AB 3314 CH 1054, an exemption was created for one-handed folding knives. Recently, there has been concern that the language of this exemption is broadly read to apply to knives that are essentially switchblades, but are designed to fall under the language of the exemption. In order to ensure that only legitimate one-handed opening knives are covered, SB 274 narrows the language to only allow knives to fall under that exemption from the switchblade law if that one-handed opening knives contain a detent or similar mechanism. Such mechanisms ensure there is a measure of resistance, no matter how slight, that prevents the knife from being easily opened with a flick of the wrist. Moreover, a detent or other mechanism is prudent and the matter of public safety, as it will ensure that the blade will not inadvertently come open. Although some one-handed opening knives can be opened with a strong flick of the wrist, so long as the contact and detent or similar mechanism that provides some resistance to the opening of the knife, then the exemption is triggered. These knives serve an important utility to many knife users, as well as firemen, EMT personnel, hunters, fishermen, and others utilizing one-handed opening knives. This exemption, created in 1996, was designed to decriminalize the legitimate use of these extremely functional tools by law-abiding citizens. SB 274 is not intended to interfere with those knife owners and users. The amendment to Section 653 accomplished this important purpose by establishing more objective criteria by determining whether a knife meets the intended exemption to the switchblade law. Sincerely, Betty Carnett, Senator, 27th District. Who is Senator Betty Carnett? After working for 30 years as a public school teacher, Betty Carnett served one term in the state assembly and then went to be elected to the state senate in 1996. She's a member of the board of directors of the Long Beach Memorial Hospital Children's Clinic and also an associate board member of the Sage House in San Pedro, which operates adult daycare programs. Senator Carnett completed her master's degree in California State University, Long Beach, while working full-time. So it took a school teacher to figure out that spring-assisted knives are useful tools in the U.S.